Hello everybody, I'm Max. If you're new to the channel, I make videos about personal development, finance, and productivity. If that sounds like something you may be interested in, please consider subscribing. Have you ever heard the phrase follow your passion? Maybe somebody used it when giving you career advice. Or maybe you were the one who used it while talking with someone else. No matter who you are, I'm pretty certain that we've all come across this phrase at one point or another. It's become the standard advice for anyone looking for what they want to do with their lives. At first glance, it seems like sound advice. After all, when we look at those who are successful in any field, most of them appear to be very passionate about their work. So it's easy to assume that what made them so successful was their passion for what they do. However, that's most likely not the case. So don't worry if you haven't found your passion yet, because in this video, we're going to see how you can become passionate for whatever you choose to do. But first, why is follow your passion bad advice? Well, for starters, your passion may not be an actually viable career option. I don't care if you're passionate about eating ice cream, you're not going to be able to make a career out of that. Someone has to actually be willing to pay you for your passion if you're going to build a career out of it. Otherwise, it's just a hobby. The problem is that most passions don't align very well with any career, and for those that do, not many professional opportunities exist. In a survey conducted among university students, 84% of them said they had a passion. However, only 4% of those passions were actually career related. The other 96% were related with art or sports. Sure, some people will be able to make a living as a professional athlete or an artist, but definitely not 96% of the population. This study also reveals another problem. What if you don't have a passion? Out of all of the students that were surveyed, 16% of them didn't even have a passion. Does that mean that those people will never find work that they can grow to love? Nonsense! Another problem that comes from the follow your passion mindset is when you don't like what you're currently doing. If you buy into the follow your passion mentality, you might be tempted to change jobs or career paths constantly. After the novelty of the change wears off, however, you'll probably be back to feeling the way you did before the change. This can cause you to constantly be hopping from one thing to another, searching for that one thing that you're finally passionate about, and when you don't find it, you end up anxious and unhappy. So, how do you actually become passionate about your work? The first thing you have to do is something so simple and quick that you could do it right now without even having to stand up. And that is hitting the like button. I'm kidding, that's not it. But it would really help me if you hit the like button. So, the first thing you have to do if you want to become passionate about your work is to start acquiring rare and valuable skills. There are three main characteristics that all compelling work shares in common. The first is creativity, the second is impact, and the third is control. If you think of your ideal job, you would most likely find that it's some combination of these three traits. Finding all these traits in a job is rare, which means you need to have something rare and valuable to offer in return. Instead of thinking to yourself, what can this job offer me? You should instead be asking, what rare and valuable skills do I have to offer? If you want to find a great job, you must have something great to offer in return. That's why if we want to become passionate about anything, we need to start by mastering valuable skills. The way we actually acquire rare and valuable skills is through practice. But not just any practice. You have to be deliberate about it. You have to actively work on developing your skills, and it's not something that happens overnight. It takes years of dedication and practice to develop the type of valuable skills that will get you a job you love. You may have heard about the 10,000 hour rule. That states that to master a skill, you need 10,000 hours of practice in that skill. But just putting in the hours isn't enough. Deliberate practice means pushing yourself past your comfort zone and into new things that you don't know how to do yet. You also need to be practicing smart. For example, if you want to master playing the guitar, you can't practice the same song over and over for 10,000 hours and expect to be the next Hendrix. You need to push yourself past your current skill level so that you may learn new things and grow. And this is true for any skill that you're trying to develop. Once you've mastered a valuable skill, You now have something valuable to offer that you can leverage to get the traits that will make your job compelling. This leverage you now have is called your career capital, and you can exchange it to gain more control and autonomy over your work, which will help you in becoming passionate about what you do, since the more freedom people have when doing their work, the more they tend to enjoy it. You can also use this leverage or career capital to get more creative and impactful assignments. You won't feel too creative or like you're having much of an impact if the tasks you do are trivial and repetitive. By having valuable skills, you'll be able to take on more challenging and impactful work where you can put your creativity into practice. Another side effect that comes from mastering a skill is a greater enjoyment of the activity you've mastered. When we become good at something, we tend to enjoy it much more than when we have no idea what we're doing. In a study conducted among a group of college administrative assistants, they were surveyed to see how passionate they were about their jobs and why. It was found that the strongest predictor for an assistant being passionate about their work was the number of years they had spent on the job. Basically, the more experience they had doing their job, the more passionate they felt about it. If you only take away one thing from this video, if you only put one thing into practice, please just remember that you have to master a skill. It all starts with this. Some of you watching this video might think that what I've been talking about doesn't affect you since you want to work for yourself or start your own business. But everything I talked about so far doesn't just apply to jobs. It also applies to entrepreneurs and any business you might wish to start. I also don't want to discourage anyone with this video. On the contrary, I think it's really motivating knowing that you can grow to love whatever you choose to do. There will always be difficulties and things we don't enjoy doing. But with enough experience and career capital, we can build a career that we truly love. I guess you could summarize the message of this video in the following phrase. Don't do what you love, learn to love what you do. And the best way to do that is by mastering the relevant skills needed in whatever you're doing, whether you're working for yourself or for somebody else. The idea for this video and most of what I talked about is taken out of Cal Newport's excellent book, So Good They Can't Ignore You. I can't really do it justice in such a short video. I'd strongly recommend it to anyone who is just starting out on their career or who is still deciding on a career path. If you're interested in reading the book, I'll leave a link down in the description. That was all for this video. As always, thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with the video and if you have any topics you'd like me to talk about. Also, don't forget to smash the like button, and if you want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe and hit the bell. I'll see you next week. Bye!